Hey everyone, and welcome to the P-Wing. Today I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite Super Nintendo tracks of all time. And I put together a list. And if you know me just a little bit, you know how much I appreciate gaming music. It's a huge part for the reason why I love a game. And I said this a couple of times, but you can give me a mediocre game where the gameplay is fine and the story is I don't give a shit, that kind of stuff. But the music in the game is absolutely outstanding. So if that is the if that happens, a mediocre game for me can ending up being amazing because music is such a huge part for why I love a game. And you can give me a amazing game that a lot of people think is amazing because of the gameplay and the story is fire and the graphic looks amazing. But then the music is kind of bad. Then the amazing game can be some kind of mediocre game for me. So music means a lot to me, and I'm at the moment in this crazy journey where I'll try to get all Super Nintendo games complete in box. And I was like, even though I'm still early on this journey, I had played a good amount of Super Nintendo games that I haven't covered yet as well, but have covered, included as well. And I sat down and was like, man, I think it would be fun to tell you guys that are watching my videos what kind of music I love in my video games. And remember, before I start this list, that I haven't played all Super Nintendo games, and there are some games where I think is amazing. As an example, okay, I can spoil a little thing. As an example, one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time is Zelda: A Link to the Past, and the music is great in that game, but there isn't any track from the game where I'm like, wow, this track blows me away. So I can already tell there isn't any Zelda music on this list. Yeah, crazy enough. And I tried to make this list harder for myself and decided that I could only pick one track from each franchise. So if I was allowed to take as many tracks that I wanted from a franchise, this top 10 would only be with Donkey Kong Country music by David Wise because, man, the music from the Donkey Kong Country series is my favorite. And yeah, almost all the tracks from Donkey Kong Country 2 could be on this list. So that would be pretty boring. So I made it more difficult for myself and tried to pick 10 different games, soundtrack from different games. And another thing is that, as I said, I know as an example that the intro track to Final Fantasy VI is one of the most beautiful tracks ever created. And I agree on that, but I don't have the same kind of feelings for that track as so many other you have. So the intro track, one of the best tracks ever created, and I can agree on that as well. It's not on the list because these tracks means more to me that I have picked, and I have a little thing with the different tracks. And maybe you'll be confused by it's not included, and I would say it's very close to hit my top 10. The track. I have still not played any Final Fantasy game, and I can't wait to get Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy 6 on my Super Nintendo journey and play them. And maybe I will do an update over my favorite tracks of all time down the line, and maybe you will see a lot of Final Fantasy tracks on this list. So before I start the list, I have a little announcement, and that is if you want to see a video over your favorite Super Nintendo tracks, I will do that next weekend. But um, my only thing I want to say to you guys before I can make that list is that put down in the comment section under this video your favorite Super Nintendo track, or you can give me more than one. And if we hit more than 10 tracks, next weekend I will do a live stream with you guys where you can be in the chat as well, where I will listen to all the tracks. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the best track, but if you have something personal with that track and it's your favorite, still put it on because a lot of these tracks that are on this list is not the best tracks ever created, probably for a lot of you guys. But for me, it's something huge and something special. And some of the tracks are like from games that I played for around half years ago, and you can be like, how can that already be one of your top 10 favorite tracks? I will tell you guys why it's one of my favorite tracks and why it's on the list. And remember, maybe my My thoughts will change if you ask me in a year in the future. But at the moment, right now, here in 2026, in February, I think it's the date is the 21 in February. These are my top 10 favorite Super Nintendo tracks of all time. So I put down up a list and I try to make a little countdown as well on the list, and we will listen to all the whole track. Some of them will loop because if they are very short, and some of them are very long, and it's because the and some of the tracks are around 4 to 5 minutes where it doesn't loop. We will still listen to the whole track, so this will be a very chill video. This will be a video where I will just talk. I will talk before the track, but when we listen to the track, I will just listen to it, and you can see my reaction to the track. And I'm one of those guys, when I hear something that I love, I can't sit still. So maybe you'll find some enjoyment out watching me reacting to my own tracks, and I will definitely recommend you to check in next week where I will listen to your tracks, because I'm a guy that reacts a lot to things I see and hear, and I'm not trying to act. This is my real reaction, and I'm just that kind of type that react to music. I can get. It's like the music is crawling into me, and I can't control myself. So I already know when we hit one of the best tracks on this list, I can't sit still. And for some guys, that is pretty funny to watch. I love that myself, to watch other people that are in the moment when they are playing a game or listen to a track. So maybe you will get enjoyment out of that. But this will be a very chill, slow video where I won't edit anything out. So if I do any hiccups along the way, you will have them included in this video. But let's start this video, and let's put up the. And I hope the volume is fine. Otherwise, I can change that afterwards. I'm not the best to technique. But here we have my little top 10 that I made in very low qual. And I'm just put it together. And yeah, we'll just listen to it. I was like, it was just a quick idea I got. And I was like, yeah, that would be fun. But let's start to listen to my number 10. And that is from Wolfchild. A pretty mediocre game. For some people, a pretty bad game. But I loved it. And it's a very cheap game, so we can come around it pretty easy. I have a whole live stream with the game where I played from start to end, sorry. And I made a video on it as well in this crazy journey where I'll try to get all Super Nintendo games complete in box. And for me, even though it's a very short game and it's not that challenging, I still had a blast with it. And one of my favorite tracks, my favorite track from the game is in the title screen. And most of you guys that are playing Wolfchild won't hear it, because who is sitting around in the title screen for around 4 minutes? No one does. And the sad part is that this track I'm going to play for you guys is it gets better along the way. I would say around the middle of the track is the peak of it, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's crazy that I don't have any Zelda music on it, but I have a Wolfchild track. I know it's crazy, but this is the title track, so let's listen to it and enjoy it. Yeah. And I hope it's loud enough. Number 10. Boom. That 80 vibes, early 90 vibes. Yeah, and I would just like to say before we start the next track, I would say something about this track as well. I think why I love this track so much, and I played it for around 6 months ago or something. The first time I played it, it was a huge surprise for me because a lot of people didn't talk about it. And before I buy a game, sometimes I often listen to the soundtrack before I decide to pick up a game. So I was like, okay, this isn't the most expensive game. I've never heard anyone talk about it. I've never released here in Europe, so I'm interested to check it out. And then I was listening to this track, and that was the first track, and I was blown away. I was like, "Whoa, this is a great track!" It reminds me a lot of late '80s, early '90s, and I just want to go on an epic action adventure. And I have to just be honest, I've listened to this track so many times. Every time I take a shower, I'll listen to Super Nintendo music, and I will probably every time I take a shower, I will listen to around 10 Super Nintendo tracks, and I put it on shuffle. And a lot of the times this track was on, and I just couldn't stand still in my on when I was taking a shower, and it's just so cool. And when I'm walking around outside, I'm sometimes just thinking about the track. So I was like, yeah, even though it's not the best game ever created, we're not talking about how good a game is. We're talking about the music in the game. And this track just makes me happy. I want to dance. I want to. It want me to play Super Nintendo games. So that is the reason why it's number 10 here on the list. I have no bigger talk about it, why it's here. And for a lot of you guys, you can be like, how can this be over Zelda music or Final Fantasy music? Yeah, it's because I just love the track. I have no better excuse for it. But again, remember to put your favorite Super Nintendo tracks down in the comment section. And if we get at least 10, I will do a live stream next weekend where I will listen to them. And please, when you are listening to track, down in the comment section, tell me why you love it so much, because then it will be more fun when we are listening to it. So I can say, okay, the reason why you love this track is because of that, and that. So yeah. So at place number 9, let's actually scroll a little bit here in my video. Yeah, we're at number 9 now. Okay, so here at place number 9, we have a game that I rented all the time. I actually never owned this game before I got the Game Boy Advance, and it's one of the best Super Nintendo games ever created. And it's crazy enough, I've never owned this Super Nintendo game in the past, and I still don't have it here in my gaming room. And one of the first games that I was like, I need to get that game when I start this journey was Super Mario World. But surprisingly enough, it's pretty expensive to get complete in box. The cartridge itself is pretty easy to come around, and the instruction booklet is easy to come around. But for some reason, the box itself is pretty expensive. So it's always around over $100. In Danish, it's around 1,500. And for a game you can come around so easily, been it had been very hard for me to put that amount of money into it. Even though it's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time. I have it much easier to pay a lot of money for a game that I know is rare, that I know I can't play anywhere else than on the Super Nintendo. So as an example, Chrono Trigger is very hard to come around because it was never released here in Europe. And Terranigma as well is a game that's hard to come around because it was never released in US. So for me, paying that high amount of money was easier for me than, as an example, Super Mario World. But this track, man, I rented this game so many times, the Super Mario World game, and every time I came to the castle, I was like, my child brain was just like, wow, this is incredible. And it's a it's a track that evolves along the way. And often when I listen to Super Mario tracks, I don't think them about my favorite tracks of all time. I have one of my favorite tracks as well is Road to Bowser in Mario 64, and this track as well because they are tracks that plays with my emotions in some way. And when I'm thinking about Mario tracks, I'm not thinking about tracks that uh, touch me in an emotional way. It's more like, yeah, that track is great, and I love to go around in the world while I'm listening to the track. But with this track, is a track that means something for me. It evolves, it creeps into me, and I'm just loving the track. It's one of my, if not my favorite Super Mario track. Do I like the Road to Bowser even more? I actually think so. Yeah. So this is probably, yeah, this is my second favorite track, Super Mario track of all time. So let's listen to it, and I think it's just called Castle Theme from Super Mario World. This is just kind of standard for me, but when the next part hits, it's getting me. Now it comes. This part. I love this part. It becomes some kind of dark and sad at the same time. Yeah, mm. So yeah, that was actually the part that makes me excited. The last part of the song, and the beginning of it doesn't make any special thing in me, but the middle and up to the end is incredible for me. Okay, at track number 8, we have a track that our first time experience was on the Nintendo Wii. It was an eShop game, and I didn't know anything about it. I remember I was looking up on a website back then over games that was releasing on the eShop, and I could see how good the game was rated according to the website that listed the games. And this game, that is ActRaiser, was rated as a must-play game. I think they gave it a 10 out of 10. And I've never heard of it before back then. And I was a little afraid about the tower defense part when I heard about it because that's not my kind of stuff normally. But man, it ending up being my favorite part of the game. But still, I think the 2D sections, the gameplay section where you're going from the left to the right, are pretty good as well. But especially the first track from the first side-scrolling level that is called Fillmore. And I don't know have any specific kind of reason why for this track is so high on the list and why it's on my top 10 other than I think it's absolutely amazing and I just love to go on an adventure in this game because of this track. It's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games as well, and I was so blown away back on the Nintendo Wii that I was a game that I have never heard about before that I was so amazing in and I was around 16 years back then. And I was like, wow, there are still incredible games that I don't know about on the Super Nintendo. And the crazy part, I'm 36 now, and I still find games that is incredible that I never heard about it. As an example, Brain Lord. As an example, there was another game that I didn't play before. Actually, amazing. There was another game. What was it? That I was blown away over that I hadn't played before. Huh? I don't know why I can't remember it right now. Skyblaze, but I don't think it was that game. Oh, Terranigma, of course. Yeah, Terranigma is an example. I love that game. One of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, this is the first side-scrolling level in ActRaiser, and I just think it's amazing. I have nothing more to say. It reminds me a little bit of Castlevania music from Super Castlevania, but ActRaiser have a special sound, and yeah, I love this track. This part comes out. Oh, oh, come on, come on. Oh, amazing. Mm. Mm. Oh, oh, oh. Mm. Mm. Yeah, amazing. Wow. I have to be careful not to bump my camera all the time. So I have to not hold my mouse while I'm doing it. I could see my camera was bouncing right, because it's so incredible. Um, I don't hope you get dizzy. Yeah, that was track number 8 over my favorite Super Nintendo tracks ever. So yeah, a pretty crazy list so far, I would imagine. And track number 7 is probably a track that a lot of you guys will be like crazy. And yeah, I don't think that my top 10 is very similar to you guys because yeah, I have a weird taste in music sometimes. But the next track is from one of my favorite Super Nintendo games ever created, and I just mentioned it before, and that is Terranigma, the last game in the Quintus trilogy. And yeah, is a Soul Blazer, is Illusion of Gaia, Illusion of Time, and Terranigma. And wow, man, this game, I was crying when I completed the game. It was so crazy of a journey, and the story is still sitting in me to this day. If you haven't played Terranigma, please do it. But this track is there are probably better tracks in this game, but to be fair, so there are so many good tracks on this game. But the reason why I picked this track from this game is because it's the first time you leave your hometown, and in your hometown you have never leave that town. You have just been there. You are living your own life, and you are living in a great peace. But then something happens, and you have to leave your town. You have to leave your bubble. I get actually chills just thinking about it. And then you enter out in the underworld, man. And the music that hits, I remember when I played it the first time. I don't know if you can see it. I have chills just to think about how crazy it was when you're leaving your peaceful hometown and then you enter the underworld area, and then the track hits, and you have your crazy mode 7 effect around you while you're walking around in the world, and you have to come over to the different 3 to 4 towers you have to complete before something happens in the game. And yeah, there are so many crazy story twists in that game. But man, the first time I left my little city and entered out in the wild, I was like, okay, this journey will be something else. And every time I listen to this track, I get chills. I don't know how I will react to it, but I'm actually pretty interested to see how I will react to it. And because I can't tell you guys how I will react to a track before I'm listening to it. And yeah, this is an important track, man. Oh, yeah, it's a track that evolves along the way as well. It's a track that really evolves. So let's listen to it. Terra Migma, and it's called Dark Side Field. And it's track number 7. Okay, here we go. Are you ready to get blown away? I had this track in the video as well. From the video. So many small details in the track. This moment. See the whole game in front of me. See the whole game. I have to be careful not to cry. It's just an emotional game. Oh, fuck off. That's wow. Every time I listen to this track, I get surprised how amazing it is. The small sound that all the small details in this track is mind blowing for me, and I just see the whole game in front of me. It's just like I'm reliving this crazy journey. Oh man, this game is so emotional. It's so emotional. You will cry to this game, and I tried to talk about it so many times. And sadly, in one of my more low-viewed video here on the channel, when I'm talking about the Super Nintendo journey, and I just wish more people played this game. I just wish, but I don't know a lot of people actually care about it, and it's just so sad, and it's hard to come around. It's just locked on the Super Nintendo, and you can't play it anywhere else unless you are doing the illegal stuff. But man, oh, this is an amazing game. I can't describe how much I love chiptune music. The Super Nintendo sound chip is incredible. It's still, the music from Super Nintendo is still better than music that is released nowadays. Because the favorite track on this list over my whole Super Nintendo list is actually my favorite track of all time. Not just on the Super Nintendo, but of all time. I have a feeling if you know me just a little bit, you know what track it is. But yeah. The next track is from a game that I have never played. I don't know much about it other than it's an RPG. And I'm starting to listen to this track when I was interested to check up on all RPG games on the Super Nintendo. And it's the overworld map music. And I don't think actually the game will be for me. I don't think it's a game for me. It should be the hardest RPG on the Super Nintendo. And the funny part is that it's much easier on the Super Famicom version. But for some reason, when they released it in US, they decided to make it one of the hardest games on the Super Nintendo. It had never got released here in Europe, sadly. And it's a prequel, some kind of prequel to Brainlord. And it's a whole nother game. Brainlord is an action adventure game where this game, and that is the Seventh Saga, is a RPG. And yeah, man, I can't describe why I love this track so much. And I just know you guys don't understand me with this track, and I have a pretty hard time to describe why it's one of my favorite tracks of all time and why it's so high on the list, especially because I don't have any personal journey with this game. It's just a track I can listen to on repeat. I had it on while I was chilling around in my house and cleaning up, and I think I had it on a loop for around an hour. Just this one track. That doesn't happen anything special in it. It's kind of samey, but I just love it. It's like I'm entering a dream world when I listen to this track, and I can just sink in myself and being like leave the world for a moment. I have used it a lot in my videos before I started this Super Nintendo journey where I'm just talking about random stuff. Every time I'm doing a Super Nintendo video over the next journey in this crazy journey, I try to use tracks from the game I'm talking about. I think there are only 3 games where I haven't used track from the game, and it was at the beginning where I wasn't sure how I wanted to make the video, and another track, The Magical Quest Starring Mickey Mouse 2, The Great Circus Mystery, because I actually don't think any of the tracks are fitted for a video and wasn't that good actually. But yeah, before I started to do all these Super Nintendo videos, I used the track a lot, really many times. So probably a lot of you guys have already heard it, but if you're a newcomer, enjoy this game and enjoy this track, and it's called Lux Teaser. I think Lux Teaser. I'm not sure, but let's listen to it. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I can't even pronounce the track, and I have never played the game. It's crazy, but it's one of my favorite Super Nintendo front cover as well. Are you ready to listen to track number 6, The Seventh Saga? Try to close your eyes when you're listening to it and just let go. It's like I'm entering a dream world when I listen to this track. It's nothing special, but it just fills me with peace and sorrow at the same time. I'm still not sure how to feel about the track, but I just love it. I can't wait to play the game. Actually, it's amazing. I have a pretty, I have a feeling that you guys can't see why this is so high on the list, but for me, it's just a personal list. Remember that, and I can't wait to listen to you guys' favorite tracks, Super Nintendo tracks. And man, I'm really hoping we are doing the live stream next weekend. So please leave a comment down below and give it a like as well. It helps a lot. But the next track is a track. Yeah, I had a hard time to decide which track I wanted from this game, and maybe it's too low. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's in the right spot. Yeah. The next track is from a horrible game, one of the worst Super Nintendo games I've ever played. I made a video on it some days before Christmas, and it's from the game Waterworld. And a lot of you guys have probably seen that we will get a Waterworld track. It's by the incredible composer Dian Evans, sorry. And I made a whole video about that guy. He's such an unappreciated composer. He made a lot of good tracks for the Super Nintendo. He have Jurassic Park Part 2. He have Eat the Cat. He have Waterworld, and he have the Flintstone game. And this game is from Waterworld, and is while you are diving. The game is absolutely horrible, horrible. It was only released here in Europe, but you got the the Game and Watch. No, not Game and Watch. What is it called? The Virtual Boy version of Waterworld. I feel sorry for you guys as well. But we got a bad version as well on the Super Nintendo. But yeah, this is Dive, and it's a long track. I will listen to the whole track. It's around 5 minutes. I think actually it's longer than 5 minutes, and it doesn't loop. It's a whole track that doesn't loop for around 5 minutes. The beginning isn't the first. I would say 20 seconds is kind of nothingness. Uh, it reminds me a little bit of a Zelda game, and it's not that I'm not saying that Zelda music is a nothingness, but it reminds me a lot of other tracks. It have nothing special over it, but then after the 20 seconds and up till almost to the end, the track is just crazy. The last around 20 seconds as well in the end of the track is kind of nothingness as well, but everything between that is incredible. And I was so close to put the map music as well, but that is looping very often, and it's not that of a exciting track. I just love it. The same thing with the Seven Saga kind of track, where it's just lovely to hear. But this track is something special, and it's styled by Dian Evans, and yeah, it's an amazing track. So let's listen to Dive. Are you ready? A lot of you guys probably have heard this because I used this so many times in my videos. It's crazy how much this track evolves along the way. It's insane. Now it begins. Are you ready? had that dreamy vibe again, water vibe. Oh, this is the end part. But man, Ian Evans, genius. I would say I probably listen to this track every week, at least once. Great running track. Yeah, incredible. I love this track, man. It's such a good track. I really love it. Okay, at place number 4, we have, for a lot of people, probably the best RPG ever created. And yeah, for me, it's one of the best as well. Maybe top 3, I think. It's probably my top 3 best JRPG ever created. And it's, of course, Chrono Trigger. And yeah, I had a hard time to pick which track I wanted to put on the list. I could have probably put around 10 tracks on this list from Chrono Trigger because there are so many good tracks. But I ended up picking the track that is called Secret of the Forest. And it's crazy because this track only plays in a little part of the beginning forest in the game. And it's one of the best tracks ever created. And I'm baffled over what that is. You hear it so few times. But man, this track is incredible, is mysteriousful, is epic, is yeah, you have probably heard it many times. But yeah, one of the best tracks ever created. But let's listen to it. It's amazing. and I will probably get copyright because of this track. All Chrono Trigger music is copyright, so yeah, that's okay. I don't earn any money on this. Oh, don't spoil the next track. Yeah. What can I say about that track? It's magical. It's magic. One of the best tracks ever created. Okay, at track number 3, here we have the big surprise for you guys. I haven't talked much about this game, and I haven't talked about much about this track. I have rarely used it. I think actually I've only used it in one of my videos. And this game is absolutely dog shit. It's horrible. It's one of the worst games as well. I don't have it yet, but I had it as a kid. And it's from the game Eat the Cat. Yeah, do you remember that cartoon? Again, we have a game that is absolutely horrible, and I can't wait to get it. I'm actually pretty excited to get it back because I have some nostalgia memories with it in a bad way and actually in some good ways as well, even though the game is absolutely dog shit. But man, the soundtrack in this game is... And you know who made it? Do you know who made the soundtrack for this game? I think there are 3 people that made the soundtrack for this game, but one of the people is Ian Evans. Again, why do we give him all the bad games? And for a lot of people will be surprised that I actually like this track even more than Diving from Waterworld. But this track is incredible. Yeah, it have that spacey sound that I just love, and it have that 80 early 90 vibes that I just love as well. And I just can't sit still to this track. Again, thank you, Dian Evans, for making such amazing track. You're so underrated, man, my man. Yeah, but let's listen to it. Eat the Cat, and the track is calling Flying Searchers. I'm probably killing that name, but yeah, don't care about the name. Just listen to the track. It's the 3rd level in the game, as far as I remember. Yeah, come on, Dian. All that space sound. that. Oh, fuck off. Oh. Okay, next one. Great. Next so okay. Oh yeah. Look at that sound. Glittering effect. Oh, I love that track. Oh man. Okay. Okay, the next track is track number 2. Now we are in serious business, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are in serious business. And this is the most hyped track ever created. This is the most hyped track that comes now. The most hyped track ever created. It's so fucking fire. It's so incredible, amazing. And this game need more games because the music is absolutely outstanding in the games. I have never been the hugest fan of racing games. But man, this track is fucking fire. And probably on my top 5 favorite tracks of all time. But here on the Super Nintendo list is my second favorite track of all time on the Super Nintendo. Are you ready? Are you ready to listen to F-Zero Big Blue? This track is mind-blowing. And you probably know it. But it's mind-blowing. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's go. I love this. One more time. Oh, I love it. I will get it one more time. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. Man, that is so fire, that track. Okay, now we come to my favorite track of all time. Not just my favorite Super Nintendo track of all time, but my favorite track ever created. And it's, of course, a Donkey Kong Country track. And it's from Donkey Kong Country 2. You probably know what it is. And I I can't count how many times this track has helped me through a tough time, and how many times I've just listened to it and being happy inside. It's a track that I can use for so many different things. And every time I go on the YouTube and listen to the track, I go down in the comic section because people are sharing under the track on YouTube, are sharing their deepest thought, the deepest demons and struggle in life, and tell how much this track has helped them through a tough time. David Wise, you are one of the best composer. You are the best composer that has ever been that has ever lived on this earth. You are a genius. You have made one of my favorite. Yeah, you have made so many great tracks that are also dear to my heart. You already know what it is. It's of course Sticker Bush Symphony, and if you someday have the courage to do it, go down in the comic section under Sticker Bush Symphony and see people open up their hearts and tell the darkest and hardest story to read, and how much this track helped them. This is pure art. Sticker Bush Symphony is pure art. It's a song that evolves along the way. It's beautiful. Is there's some kind of melancholic over it. Let's just listen to it. And yeah, I will just. It's a track that I heard a million times. You won't get any crazy reaction from me because it's a track that I'm listening to almost every day, I would say. And yeah, let's just listen to it, man. The best track ever made, Sticker Bush Symphony by David Wise in Donkey Kong Country 2. Yeah, what a track to end on. It had been hard to make this list because there are so many tracks that I wanted to be included. As an example, the Final Fantasy VI intro track, Secret of Mana, the first area track, Mario Kart. There are some incredible tracks in that, Castlevania as well. It have been difficult, super Ghouls and Ghost, but I picked the tracks that feel that that I listen to the most at the moment and fills me up with so many different emotions. When you ask me in a year out in the future, maybe my list will be different. Maybe you won't see Wolfchild at number 10, but at the moment, Wolfchild is my number 10 favorite track of all time on the Super Nintendo. And yeah, it's okay to change your opinion about your favorite things. You can't just say, that is the list from now on until the end. And maybe you will give me some tracks to listen to next weekend where I'll be like, I'll have to pick that game up because I choose my games judge after the music often. Unless maybe sometimes I can pick a game because I'm like, I want to make a video about that game. I know it'll be funny or interesting. But other than that, I will listen to the music of different Super Nintendo music games, and I'm like, okay, I'll need to pick that up and play it. Um, but yeah, it was a fun video to make. I'm not sure if it will be fun for you guys, but I make the videos that I want to do, and I do understand it's not fast-paced video where a lot of things happens. You're just seeing on my stupid face that are jamming along or sitting in a chair and being mute. But I like this kind of stuff, and um, I would love to hear your favorite Super Nintendo tracks. And yeah, before I leave, I would just say go and subscribe to Nintendo Far if you know anything about Danish. If you understand Danish, he is probably one of the best YouTuber I have ever seen, and not just here in Denmark, but in general. He's just uploaded a new video yesterday, and I'm over the moon how good he is. And if you are watching this video, Robert, I'm looking so much up forward. You are one of the people that inspires me to make videos as well, even though you have just started for around a half year ago. You are very incredible to follow, and you're inspiring me to keep on going. I will never be as good as you to edit videos, but I think we both have something on heart that we want to share. If you just want to support Nintendo Far, it's just Nintendo and FAR. Go in and support him and just subscribe to him because he needs he needs to be the biggest Nintendo YouTuber here in Denmark. I would say his editing is as good as beat 'em ups. So yeah, that's actually even better. And he is just doing it by himself. I don't know why I'm just rambling about Nintendo Fire. It's just because he's very passionate about the things he is doing. But man, please go down in the comment section and leave your favorite Super Nintendo tracks. I will not listen to them before next weekend. And I will listen to it for the first time if I have never heard the track before, of course. And you will be in the chat as well if you want. And we will do a live stream on it. And you will see my reaction on it. And I will be totally directly to you if I think it's shit or if it's good. I will, of course, of course, understand why you love. I will, of course, why I'm fumbling over my words here in the end. I will, of course, how do you say it actually? I can't find the right word for it, but I will be nice to you guys, even though if I don't like it, because I know it's not the right word, but I will judge it out of my own judgment, and of course, I will understand why you love it so much and understand why you love it, and I can't find the word on it. My mind has just locked down, so I think it's better to end the video here. I don't know why I've just ended it on a bad note, but what the fuck? This is a one. I'm just what the fuck is happening? It's a one take, and I don't want to edit this video. It just comes out. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching the whole video. This was Stang from the P-Wing. Purple love to you all, and remember to leave your favorite Super Nintendo tracks down in the comment section. Purple love. Bye. What the fuck? Stop recording. Bye.